I had left it on like this, if you could for a minute. Thanks. Okay. Before I start my presentation, I would just like all of you to take a moment and just think about what do we, all of us have, which a lot of low-income individuals don't have. That security, that financial cushion that lets us to do something different. All of us are here doing something different because we have that kind of security, be it a social security, be it financial security. And at Sanchayan, that's the issue we are tackling. We are trying to help low-income individuals to achieve financial security through financial literacy as well as financial services. Our model is literacy-centric, and we started off as an organization 3 years back that was only focusing on financial literacy, but gradually, going forward, we realize unless and until we don't link them to financial services, our model is not a complete model. And in that respect, we started working in services, and now we have a hybrid structure so that literacy, our focus is neutral financial literacy, and that's not diluted. So we created a separate organization that only delivers financial services, and another organization that has been working for 3 years delivering financial literacy. So the next slide, I'll be sharing some statistics. More than 92% of families still do not have any sort of financial security. More than 97% of families do not have reliable, safe health insurance. 93% of them, in fact more of them, do not have access to bank investments or fixed deposits. 90% plus do not have secure credit for business or emergencies. And 45% plus do not have access to saving banks account. And this is when, unfortunately, our government is going gaga about opening accounts for every individual. This is the state. So this is the data we have picked up from a Mint survey that was conducted last year for low-income individuals. 75,000 households were interviewed and surveyed in this data. So even after 6 decades of independence and 2 decades of economic liberalization, there are still families, low-income individuals, BOP, that is out of formal financial system. There are 2 major reasons for it, non-affordability and lack of knowledge. And that's the reason we see, this is the gap that we see is an opportunity where we can work. Opportunity not only to make an impact, but also to create a sustainable business model. So, she's Radha. Actually, I was going to start off with her story, but decided since morning we have been listening to so many stories, changed my starting. So she's Radha and her husband Sunil. When we went into this community, there are gender resource centers which are working in these communities. They provide access to social security schemes, but there are no follow-ups. So the default rates on, say, insurance or pension schemes or other schemes where there are co-contributory schemes are very, very high because there are no follow-ups on the basis of CBOs who set up camps, open accounts on the name of financial inclusion, but there is no follow-up. So these people don't end up using their bank accounts, they don't end up enrolling or taking benefits. So a lot of social security schemes that they can avail. So Radha came in, enrolled for micro insurance, and the primary reason was to secure her child's future. So here our mission is to provide access to and build demand for complete financial services leading to financial security for low-income families who are excluded from formal financial system. So the idea is to create credible organization that not only provide financial services but also provides literacy and increase the beneficiaries' financial capability at the end of the day. Right now what's happening is a lot of low-income individuals end up buying ULIPs in the name of insurance. They end up investing in pyramid schemes like Pearl, Dolphin Touch, etc. Products which are not meant for them. That's basically due to lack of knowledge. And that's the reason financial literacy plays an important role while working with these individuals. So our model is based on creating a Suraksha Kavach security shield for low-income, bottom of the pyramid individuals, where we provide financial literacy, financial planning, savings and budgeting, identity, government schemes, banking, credit linkages, security protection, growth, diversification of assets, and old age income security, pension. Going forward, this is our model. Our model we have divided into 5 steps. The first part of the model is policy advocacy and mass awareness. Over here, we work with 3 major regulators of financial markets, RBI, IRDA, and SEBI. We are working with them. As we are speaking here today and tomorrow, there is conference going on financial literacy, OECD conference, RBI OECD conference going on in Delhi. And we were supposed to be there, but the dates clashed, so we are here now. So we work with them. Recently, RBI came out with financial literacy guidelines and books. We were one of the contributors to that book, along with ISMW, Axion, and Parinam, as well as mass awareness. We are working to build some tools on developing some mass awareness tools so that these models, these messages can reach down to almost everybody that needs it. So when I landed in Mumbai and I saw 2 very big boards, a DSP BlackRock as well as MCX talking about start saving early. So these billboards are usually targeted to middle income, nothing wrong with it, but we have to start thinking about low income individuals also. That's the bottom of the pyramid. That is actually, I mean, there are more than 650 million who can be potential clients to the service providers. The next step is financial planning module. We do extensive financial planning of our beneficiaries, whether they are taking services or whether they are coming through a financial literacy training towards us. This helps us. Currently we are doing this manually on an Excel sheet where we plot data and then come out. But this actually helps us to understand what are their needs exactly, so that we can give them suggestions going forward, what they need, what they don't need, how can they help become more secure in their lives. Financial literacy tools, we create financial literacy tools like SMSs, comic books, handouts. I'll be sharing some of the examples as we go forward, flyers, FAQs. Key messages are delivered in simple manner so that it's not complicated. Numeracy skills, a lot of these people do not have numeracy skills, so the messages are to be delivered in such a manner that they understand products, as well as at the same time understand what is good for them. The next step is outreach and distribution network. We call them Sanchay and Suraksha points. This is the model. This is the key in the model because this network will help us not only to reach out to our beneficiary, but also combine financial literacy with financial services. Linkages and follow-up, we still do not have all these services. So we try, whichever services we do not have but are actually pro-poor, we try and link them up, as well as do a rigorous follow-up with our beneficiaries so that we know that if they're defaulting, why are they defaulting, how can we reduce the default rate, etc., etc. So these are some of the tools that we have created for the clients. Comic books, flyers, which helps them to understand better product literacy. This is the distribution channel, snapshot of the distribution channel called Sanchay and Suraksha Point. Sanchay owned SSPs, mobile enrollment van, tie-ups with factories and offices, third-party distribution platform, partner organization, NGOs, and door-to-door agents. So currently we do not have any mobile enrollment vans, but going forward we would like to have some so that we can, our outreach can be much deeper than it is right now. But all the other forms of tie-ups are already in place. So how do we stand apart from our peers? Well, what we have tried to do to create our business model is actually pick up some of the best practices that are already there, bring them together and keep a client focused, beneficiary focused and literacy centric model in place so that at the end of it, beneficiary knows what's good for him or her and they're able to take decisions without any influence. So as I was saying earlier, they end up buying pyramid schemes which are not exactly meant for them on the pretext of, oh, you save 10,000 every year and then you'll get 10 lakh and they end up getting nothing. So what we do is focus on financial well-being of our clients, complete financial inclusion. We strongly believe financial inclusion and literacy have to go hand in hand. If they don't, if we only do inclusion as it has been happening till now, it is not meaningful. Building capacity of the clients, offering financial literacy trainings. So, our impact reporting. We have worked in more than 5 states to execute different projects. Current number of outreach point SSPs are 56. These are in Delhi NCR. Number of low-income families we have reached out to is more than 16,000 and indirect impact we have made is more than 74,000. So we measure our impact on the basis of a pre-assessment, mid-assessment and a post-assessment. We have formulated a financial well-being index where we measure what is their financial well-being and uptake of social security schemes which benefits them in long term, how after our intervention they have started taking more social security schemes is actually helps us to measure our literacy because it's a long-term behavioral change. This project, we have been working on this project for almost a year, so it's still very soon to come out with numbers, but we have seen slight change in the behavior of the target segment. So indicators, till date we have provided for last year information to financial information and literacy to 37 plus people. Number of bank account open till date is 23,000 plus. Identity solution given to 2,300 plus. Number of life insured is 1,200 plus and number of pension accounts open is 854. So what are our revenue drivers? More than 90% of our revenue drivers are for fee-based knowledge services and financial literacy tool. Grants, not a very significant chunk as of now because we want to focus on creating a business model rather than being dependent on grants. And going forward, since we want to create a sustainable business case, revenue from product sales which would be churned back into delivering financial literacy. So, here's the difficult part. What I'm looking for today is actually an innovation grant that helps me and my organization to learn better and create a sustainable business. We need grant to be divided as 120 SSPs, 12 lakh plus. Team is going to be they're going to be our pillar of strength. We have people, but we need people with technical knowledge, more of them. 8 people, client education, market innovation and trainings 14 lakh and mobile and technology. So as I said, we have softwares which we send out manually, tick through a mobile. We don't have an application or through website. As well as we do financial planning in a very rudimentary manner. We would like to develop a software for it which can actually manage our partnerships, deliver services and keep track records of whatever we are doing as well as do financial planning. So this is how the grant is going to help us to develop the 5 steps I shared earlier. These are the financial projections. Jaspreet is showing me the cue cards. I'm not going to go in detail. But what I would like to bring to notice is we have got 100% growth since last year. This year we have reached out to 87,000 plus and we're expecting a good growth going forward till 2015. I can discuss the financials in detail a little later in case you have a question. So, how does service processes help us to make it a sustainable business case is we get a very small commission. But if we have 35,000 monthly transactions happening under different, all of them clubbed together, then we reach a break-even point, and that's when we start generating some sort of positive revenues. Till now, whatever revenues we have generated has been majorly through executing projects for organizations like GIZ, HSBC, etc., which has helped us to experiment with the model we want to work on going forward. This is our team. Avik, he's the founder. It was his brainchild to set up Sanchen. He has worked with KPMG and GT. He recently got a fellowship from Santa Clara University, GSBI fellowship. Chidambra, I manage partnerships and outreach. Manoj has worked with KGFS, Basics and Satin and is currently heading SSP operations. Jaydev is a graduate. He looks after field staff management and client education. Akbal and Kamlesh again have a background in MFIs, and Riddhi has just joined our team to do research and look at communications. So this is the board of advisors. NV again is from microfinance background. He has been a great support and mentor to both Avik and me as well as the team. Mr. Kamal Sharma, he is also from finance background. He helps us to understand better, understand financial space better, how should we go further. Dr. Anand Sharma, he is from Indian Railway Board. He actually helps us to work with the government, though apart from the regulators and Ministry of Finance, we have not been able to do much, as well as Professor Rajiv Sinha, Sanjeev Vasudev, Indrajit Ji, and Mrs. Manju Rana. These are the organizations we work with and working with. Indian Overseas Bank is our banking partner. We provide small saving accounts through Indian Overseas Bank. DSP BlackRock has just funded my Dasra fee, as well as have given us a small grant to do financial literacy trainings for women in Delhi. And Jharkhand State Women's Commission, we are a technical advisor to them to advise on economic empowerment for women. So the summary is our end goal is financial security for the client. There is a huge potential market that we see that helps us to make a strong business case. The model is replicable and scalable, and it is a sustainable model because we are sharing revenues. We are getting commissions that is helping us to open small distribution channels in these slums with shop owners, chemists. It's basically a hub and spoke model. So there is a center which is managed by us, and then there are small centers in the community that deliver services. We are using these centers to showcase financial literacy messages so that it's repetitive, people see it again and again, and that's how they become, apart from the community interventions, they also see messages regularly. So at the end, I'll just close my presentation with a beautiful quote from Diana Wells. When a poor household has access to quality financial services, an entire cascade of economic and social benefits become possible. Thank you.